I believe you will get a couple pages of notes during this interview. And of course, as you're watching the interview, if you also want help from a coaching perspective to help you reach elite status as a listing agent, I'm going to put a link right underneath this video, both in the description and in the pinned comment. Feel free. You can click that link, schedule a day and time that works best for you, learn about the Listing Agent Academy coaching program, and then make a decision if it's for you or not. So with that, let's jump into today's interview. If you could, someone that might be watching this or listening to the replay, Ryan, that's just starting out in their real estate business, if you could give that person advice, maybe it'd be advice to give yourself 20 years ago, the Ryan that's 18, getting started in real estate, what maybe one or two or three things would you tell yourself that the new realtor could benefit from right now?
So the one thing looking back, I wish I would have put a better database system into effect right away. And I think just being young and immature and maybe naive and didn't know if I was going to still be doing this, of course. And
sure.
Having a better database system in place with, names, phone numbers, kids' names, birthdays, things like that would have been better, because now taking where I've done over 5,300 transactions in my career, trying to implement, 5 to 8 years ago into a day, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Just pain in the butt for somebody to have to try to input all that, right? So it's like at this point now, it's almost impossible to change the database system.
Right.
So I would definitely focus on that. I would also focus on having lofty goals, right? And when I look back at my goals, because I still have the sheets of paper that I wrote my goals on, I said, if I get to $250,000 a year, I'm set. I can have $1 million home, $100,000 sports car, and then I got to 250, and I'm like, that ain't gonna work,
Right.
And later got to 500. I'm like, shit, that ain't gonna work.
That's right.
And then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And so we obviously can't say, I want to make $1 million a year starting out and have nothing for the in between, right? You really
Sure.
need to have it broken down on in my opinion, as you get higher producing, a minute basis, right? I've got to have a goal every single minute of what I'm doing, and then an hourly, and then a daily, weekly, quarterly, because then it's achievable, right? It's like if you're trying to learn how to jog or run a certain event in a certain time frame, it's like, okay, I have to move my feet X amount of steps per second or per minute in order to achieve that goal. Now it's tangible. Now it's like, okay, that I can focus on. If you just say I have to run a marathon in 3 hours, I'm going to get lost and find out I'm an hour behind 20 minutes into the marathon, right? But
100%.
if you give me, something that I feel like is in front of me that I can put my hands on, it's easier to obtain that goal. And then the third thing really is, again, stop taking the path of least resistance and just understand that if you want results, you have got to work for them. And despite everything you see on the national media and news and everything else, the American dream still works. You work hard, you bust your ass, you're going to get paid. It doesn't matter what you do in our country. If you're good at it, you're going to get paid. If you're good at YouTube, you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
Right? So the knocking the doors, the making the phone calls, as unglorified, unsexy as it is, I would do it all day long. I really, really would. And the reason why is I look at what does it pay me per hour.
That's
and
right.
It's the most profitable thing I can do. It's over $1,000 an hour. It's like $1,152 an hour. I am going to call as much as I possibly can call. End of story. Last night I walked out to my car because my house was a little bit loud at 7:30 and had to call 4 more people back because we got disconnected. They got busy at work, and I wanted to make sure I followed up with them again. So those would be the 3 things looking back for me that I would really focus on. Again, database, having a really good schedule, and then just not buying into the bullshit of a lot of what these companies are pitching. Because think about it, and I've owned a real estate company before, right? Yep. I'm one of the owners of our companies now. Most owners don't like high producing agents because they're a pain in the ass. Not
Right.
because we're creating, National Association of Realtor Ethics complaints. We avoid all that. But you have the more deals you do, the more crazy people you come across. It doesn't matter if you dot every I, cross every T. That's part of dealing with the public. We use the copy machines more. We're in the conference rooms more. We drink more coffee, right? We use more square footage in the office. Owners want agents that sell, usually, depending on the markets, 12 to 20 homes a year. Those are
That's
the
right.
most profitable agents.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you buy into their training programs. And I sit there and watch, I'm like, they're just creating a herd. They're really
Yeah.
not trying to get you to that next level. They want you to be reliant on that company, right?
100%. So well said. And yeah, I say it all the time. Most brokers and associations and boards, it's not in their best interest to tell you the truth. It just really isn't.
Exactly. It's
And it's
not. Absolutely. Just like the government, right? The government's
That's
not going
right.
to come out and tell us the truth about certain things. And so why do certain companies not bring you in and hire you specifically is because it wouldn't be in the best interest of their bottom dollar to hire you and bring you in to get all their agents producing higher.
That's
It
right.
just wouldn't. So
Yep.
they need to look at it objectively and say, okay, forget what I'm hearing all the time from the national franchises or from the news. What does common sense tell me is going to help produce the best for myself and my family? And unfortunately, it's usually what we don't want to hear, right? It's oh man, if I want to get in shape and have abs, I got to exercise every day. I got to sweat and I got to push the limits. That's what we have to do in the office every single day. And once you've done it for a month or two, it gets a lot easier. And then, like anything else in life, when you get good at it, it gets enjoyable. But it takes 3, 4, 5 months to really get into a groove of anything new, right? It's even when you helped me change some of my scripts. I
Yep.
mean, I fumbled it for a month, but it happens. I was doing it a certain way and saying a certain thing for so long that when we changed it slightly, it was like, oh crap. Even this morning, I found myself text messaging the wrong thing because I couldn't get through to him. So I sent him a follow-up text. I had to go back and delete it and resend it, right? And so it takes time. And ultimately, if you have the goals and the commitment in place, and with your help, they'll get there.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, listen, I appreciate you very much. Obviously, you've got a lot to do, so we're going to let you get back to it. And I'm looking forward to going on the journey and watching you continue to grow your career. Certainly, you've done very well for yourself, and so we appreciate you jumping on the show.
No, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate all your help.
We'll talk to you soon, Ryan. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Take care. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.